Hey guys. Oh, I have the wrong date. It's 10/16. There we go. Yeah, I mean, top is in. Bull runs over. It's done. Oh, Godel increased its font size here, so I'm really happy. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's kind of baller. Video's up. Awesome. Quantum Carnage. Nothing's changed in my portfolio.
Top news alert, Fed's Waller on board for an October rate cut as Miron again presses for aggressive easing.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to short quantum. I saw Praxis. I don't know what to make of it. They changed their endpoint? Is that true? Can't wait for Zoran, yeah. Didn't cover. I shorted more quantum actually. Love you guys. Easy. Easy money stacks. Would they have met if they didn't change it? I think that's a pretty big one. Easy money stacks. I don't see why these stocks aren't down 20, 30%. Well, these people don't understand. I have spoken. I have spoken. That's it. There's nothing left to say. Once I have spoken, that's it. The verdict has been passed down. Market disobeying my thoughts. How is that possible? Yeah, I heard about the TBPN thing. Just tablet from the mountain. What else do you need to know? I don't know anything about ALT, and I know very little about EQ, so I don't know what you're talking about. I would never go on CNBC. Never. Never! I think it's still a buy. Spruce is still a buy. Spruce Moose. I don't care about alt. Sorry, man. I don't know anything about Ubisoft. Fuck Ubisoft. I'm not an old school punk guy like that. Maybe Adolescence would be like the closest. Screeching Weasel. China. No pump. The pump is over. Baby don't need no money, bro. Of course I took the baby's money. What a baby can do with money? How a baby gonna spend money? Top is in. Top is in. Need no college fund. Get out of here. Ultra short for Prax? Ooh, I like that. When you say ultra, I get excited. Ultra, eh? Is it a fraud? Where's the announcement? Where's the announcement? Go Rigetti. Rigetti is worth $1, if that. It's not even worth $1. Fucking $47. Sell this shit. What are you, stupid? I hate these people. I hate humanity. You know what? Misanthropic. Billions must die. At the end of the day, I'm a chud. It's true. This is not the right one. Perplexity what?
I'm under 6 feet tall. I wish I had 8-10 eyes. Don't talk to females, just jerk off and cry. Chat screw her daily, just like a whore. All women are evil. They're so fucking evil. But I'm a chud. I'm an incel. What are they doing here? Billions must die. Circumcised us all.
Yeah. Billions must die, baby.
The Jews have
What?
control.
God damn.
I want a perfect jawline. I
Good.
want an Aryan soul.
Charlie got 7? I got 7.
They don't want you to notice when they are around. No fucking foreskin.
Goddamn.
I wish I had foreskin, but I'm a chud. I'm an incel. What are they doing here? Billions must die.
Yeah. Just need to reset planet Earth, man. You guys let quantum go up to 100 billion. Hit the reset button. Hit the reset button. You're done. Just nuke Korea. That's what I'm saying. No more to Korea. We don't need Hangul. Hangul. Because I said so. Because I fucking said so. Sick of this shit. You weak ass short sellers covering. I'm scared. I ran out of money. Man, get back in the trade. Back in the fucking trade. Stop being pussy. Hangul. Open door. This is when you short more. This is when you pounce. Ain't stopping. How much money these fuckers took from me? I want every penny back. Times 10. Tenfold it will come your way. Give me that money. I don't know anything about Aklo. I don't give a fuck if you're holding EQ. I hope you lose all your money. How about that? Is that reassuring? I'm gonna see you on the street corner. I'm gonna throw you a nickel like this. Don't spend it all in one place. Let me see if I have some coins around here. I don't even have a nickel for you. Best I can do, use a toothpick. Yeah. Caffeine, I don't advise you to do anything. I advise you to press Alt F4. There are no Hamas fans in this chat, okay? Guy said, what's that mock song from Nirvana, man? It's Radiohead. Do-do, do-do, do-do. How many hours do we work in a week? Not enough. But I'm a creep. Let's see. For me to make money on IonQ, I don't know where it'd have to go. I've added to it, so I don't know. Probably still a good ways away. You might have to go negative. Might have to go negative. No, I can't work as hard as Alan Barrett's. Not in Miami. That's a serious place for serious people. I'm Trump speaking from the Oval? Where? Where is it? Where you at? Quantum is real, don't listen to Scully. He doesn't know shit. Look at this QUBT, I love it. Oh, it's so ugly. Oh. These guys really thought they could do a million secondaries. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. Back to where you came from. Back to a penny stock, buddy. Well, I gotta tell you something, because I know that Trump won't announce a quantum fund. Because, yeah, well, you know, you can read between lines, okay? You can read between lines. Do I have to spell it out for you? Back to $1. Fucking fake ass company. This is below the December highs. I mean, I don't know if that means anything. Dog crap company, dude. There's some G Unit enjoyers. Yeah, poor Capper. Died like a dog. Yeah, Godell's always raising. We're gonna close out our seed round. So that'll be fun. Move on to our Series A. So proud of our team. Kicking butt. Alright, so there were 99 million shares outstanding of QUBT. Last time I did this model. Now there are 159 as well as Q2. That was August 13th. They had 3 million. This company had 3 million in cash. 3 million! 3! They knew nothing! They knew nothing! We're gonna add 37.2 million shares. Plus 750 in cash. That's gross though. There's some discount to that. What's the banker take? 5%? Nice deal for the banker. Another 26 million shares here. Plus another 500 here. $6.80 cash per share, is that right? 686. Anybody get a different calculation? Smart on their part to raise all that cash. Oh shit. Fuck. How is this? See FDA people.
Are you ready? You all set? Let's go.
What the hell? Oh shit, Dr. Oz.
Thank you very much. This is very exciting, what we're doing. I want to thank everybody for being here, and I want to thank this group of people. They're incredible people. We just had a call, as you know, with President Putin. I thought it was a very good call, so we'll talk about it maybe later. But it went very well. We're here today to announce a historic victory for American women, mothers, and families. With the actions I will outline this afternoon will dramatically slash the cost of IVF and the treatment and many of the most common fertility drugs for countless millions of Americans. Prices are going way down, way, way down. I want to thank Libby Horn, who is the Senior Vice President of Fertility of EMD Serrano. So I want to thank you. Let's see here. That's what I thought.
Serrano.
Thank you, Libby, very much. And let me also thank the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr., whose wife destroyed the people on The View yesterday. I have to say that. I'm not going to ever get into an argument with her. And you've decided, you learned that a long time ago. Right? She did a great job, actually. Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick. Thank you, Howard. Secretary of Labor, Lori Chavez de Rima. Thanks, Lori. Howard, thanks. CMS Administrator, Dr. Mehmet Oz, who's a fantastic guy, and he's done really well. FDA Commissioner Marty McCary. Thank you, Marty. Senator Katie Britt, who got me started with this whole thing when she called up to say,
Top news alert,
was a
U.S.
bad
budget
ruling.
deficit falls
Oh,
2% to
Judge,
$1.77, $5 trillion in
sir,
fiscal
and we
2025.
did it very quickly. Probably in 24 hours it was done. Congressman Richard Hudson, a great guy, and his wife Renee. Richard, hi, Richard. And Advocate Samantha Bush, who's a very respected person. For years, American couples struggling with infertility have faced crushing costs in their quest to start a family, and IVF is among the most expensive treatments of all. A single round of IVF in the United States can cost up to $25,000, can actually go a lot higher than that, and many couples require multiple rounds for a successful pregnancy. A major reason for these high prices is the excessive cost of the drugs involved. The number one fertility drug used in IVF is currently 700% more expensive in the United States than the rest of the world. And you know, we're ending all of that. It's called favored nations, and we're ending it, and we're ending it pretty fast. Nobody thought we'd be able to do it, and we've done it. Drugs are going to come down. Drug prices are coming down. 400%, 200%, 600%, numbers that nobody's ever seen before. Great for Medicare, Medicaid, even Social Security. Great for everything, I think, Dr. Oz. So it's something that's, to me, it's very exciting. I'm bugging him and Bobby all the time. How are we doing with that? And we're doing really good, Bobby. It's really going good. Other countries are agreeing to it, because if they don't, we put tariffs on them. And then they agree, so it's amazing. It's amazing how that worked out. But as an example, in London, you'd buy a certain drug for $130, and even less than that, I guess, $88 as of a count a month ago. And in New York, you pay $1,300 for the same thing. So now we're going to be paying, instead of $1,300, you'll be paying about $150. And they'll be paying $150 too. We're going to pay the same thing. Favored nations. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And we've been ripped off by the whole world for a long period of time. One of the most popular fertility drug regimens costs over $5,000 per cycle, as an example. Wow. Largely as a result of these unsustainable prices, 70% of the employers do not offer insurance that covers IVF. Therefore, most couples with fertility challenges are paying these costs entirely out of their own pockets, which is not really possible to do. Oh, look who we have. Look at that, the great Maria Bartiromo. I didn't know. Did you get put into the regular pool pack? That's very good. Yeah, that's good. Nice to see you. I'm doing an interview with her in a little while. In the Trump administration, we want to make it easier for all couples to have babies, raise children, and start the families they've always dreamed about. That's why today I'm pleased to announce that after extensive negotiations, EMD Serono, the largest fertility drug manufacturer in the world, has agreed to provide massive discounts to all fertility drugs they sell in the United States, including the most popular drug of all, the IVF drug Gonal-F. So it's Gonal-F. Is that a proper pronunciation? Close enough, right? Gonal-F. As part of this agreement, EMD Serono will list their fertility drugs online at trumprx.gov at very, very heavily reduced prices that you won't even believe. And ultimately, that's because of the favored nations. In addition, the FDA will be working with the company to expedite review and approval of another common fertility IVF drug, and currently it's selling in Europe. It's Pergoveris. Pergoveris. And that's a sounding nice name. Pergoveris. Why can't you name them nice, simple names? Nice, easy names. Doesn't matter. If it works, that's all we care about, right? Upon approval, this drug would directly compete against a much more expensive option that currently has a monopoly in the American market, and this will bring down costs very significantly. And the other one's going to have to come down also. Finally, EMD Serono has agreed that all future drugs and everything that it develops and sells in the United States will be offset at most favored nation prices. I've been after this for a long time, and we started the process in the last administration, and then we had a little thing called COVID that came up. We had to focus on that, did a good job on that too. And they'll bring a significant portion of their drug manufacturing back to the United States. So they're going to bring it largely back into the United States, and that's for a lot of reasons, but primarily because of the election result, November 5th, and maybe most importantly because of the tariffs, because if they do it here, there are no tariffs. So we're going to be very close, I think by the end of this year, we're going to be very close to $20 trillion in investment. As an example, the Biden administration had less than $1 trillion, substantially less than $1 trillion for 4 years, Maria. Can you imagine? 4 years, less than one. We're going to break $20 trillion of investment, and we're already over $17 trillion, and that's in 8 months. Can you believe that? And he was at less than $1 trillion. And in addition to that, he had open borders, allowing millions of people to pour in. What an administration that was. Worst president in history, by far. As a result of these actions, the per-cycle cost of drugs used in IVF will fall by an estimated 73% for American consumers, and the numbers are going to actually be very substantially higher as time goes by when it really kicks in. For most of, I mean, think of those numbers. You know, I told the story last time because we were with Pfizer, and Pfizer's doing something very similar. But I told them that my first term, I was so proud of myself because I was the first president in 28 years where drug prices went down for the year. And you know what they went down? 1/8 of 1%. But I was so 1/8 of 1%. Now I'm getting them down, Maria, 500, 600, 800%. In some cases, even more than that. It's hard to believe. But I was proud. I said, oh, wow, I'm the first one. 1/8 of 1%. And I was proud of that. Now I realized, and I called a news conference. Some of you were at that news conference, actually. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. We've gone down by 1/8 of 1%. And now we're going down 500, 600, 700, 800%, Richard. So it's really something. For most administrations and all of the people involved in this kind of thing, this action would be a crowning achievement of their agenda for fertility health. But for us, it's really just the beginning. It's just the start. It's one of many things we're doing. Today, we're also taking historic steps to vastly expand access to insurance coverage for fertility care, including IVF, something that, as you know, was not covered. Effective immediately, for the first time ever, we will make it legal for companies to offer supplemental insurance plans specifically for fertility. It's never been done before. We're signing it in today with what we sign. Americans will be able to opt in to specialized coverage just as they get vision and dental insurance. They're going to get fertility insurance for the first time. So I don't know. I don't know how well these things are covered. I see the Democrats like to take credit for all of the things we do. We do the things and they take the credit. But I figure if you do enough of these, eventually people are going to figure it out. The Democrats have done nothing. This will make all fertility care, including IVF, far more affordable and accessible. And by providing coverage at every step of the way, it will reduce the number of people who ultimately need to resort to IVF because couples will be able to identify and address problems early. The result will be healthier pregnancies, healthier babies, and many more beautiful American children. It's a big factor. It's a big deal. I'm asking all employers to make these new fertility benefit options available to their employees immediately. The initiatives I've just announced are the boldest and most significant actions ever taken by any president to bring the miracle of life into more American homes. And I will say Katie was great. As you know, she's a great senator from Alabama. She's the first one that told me about this. I had not known too much about it, and we worked very rapidly together, didn't we, though? We had everything passed, and Alabama then took care of it and passed it. Within a week, everything was done. Really, it was something. So I want to thank Katie, Brett. There's no deeper happiness and joy of raising children, and now millions of Americans struggling with infertility will have a new chance to share the greatest experience of them all. So I'd like to thank all of the people that are here, and I think we'll start with Dr. Oz and Ms. Horn. We'll go through the list and we'll listen. And yesterday I did this, and I stood for about an hour and a half as people spoke. And I said, this time I'm sitting right there, and I'm going to watch you. I stood for an hour and a half like this. I said, you got to be kidding. Here we go. It was one after another, and it was wonderful listening to them. But I said, if I have to do this every day, Bobby, should I stand or sit? Thank you, Bobby. Please, Dr. Oz.
Okay. Mr. President, I'm going to jump in here real quick. I want to start by thanking President Trump. Sir, from the very first phone call we ever had, your support was strong. It was steadfast. It was unwavering. And because of you, millions of Americans are going to have a greater opportunity to bring the greatest gift, in my opinion, life into this world.
This is a good glaze, I like it.
Your support, your administration's support, it's a game changer. All of us here today are aligned. This is a celebration of life. It's a celebration of parents.
Celebration of me, let's get that right.
And it's a celebration for those people who want to one day be parents themselves. I think every parent can attest, and I certainly do myself, that the greatest gift that God has ever given me is the ability to be a mom. We want more people to have that opportunity. We want to make that easier and more affordable. IVF is what makes the difference.
Let's get back to me.
That are facing infertility. So you've seen the numbers.
Continue the glaze. Do some tricks on it, please.
Some people say as much as 1 in 6 are actually experiencing issues with fertility. It's 9% of males and at least 11% of females that are facing these challenges as they work to build their family. The recommendations today that President Trump has set forth are going to expand IVF coverage to nearly 1 million more families, and they're going to drive down cost significantly.
Drive them down.
Mr. President, this is the most pro-IVF thing that any president in the history
Thanks for the glaze. Do more tricks on it, thank you.
Mr. President, it's your leadership.
Yes,
You
it
are the
is.
reason why the Republican Party is now
Correct.
the party of parents. We are the party of families. This is why when Senator Cruz and I worked last year, we got every single Republican senator to sign on and say that they supported nationwide access to IVF. And just for the record, IVF is legal. and
Bolivia's
accessible
Quiroga promises
in
dramatic
all
economic change if he wins
50
election runoff.
states. And President Trump taking
In surprise
this
move, head of
action
U.S.
today
military for
to
Latin
lower
America to
costs,
step down.
to bring these issues to the forefront and to enact solutions for people working to start their families. I want you to know it's significant and there's more to come. But this isn't the only thing.
U.S.
that we've
stocks
done
Wall Street
to
ends
prove
down.
that we're the
Zion
party of
sparks
parents
worries about
and we're the
regional
party of
banks.
families. If you look at the working family tax cut, guys, he made sure that hard-working parents were front and center in that legislation. You know, whether it was child tax credits being expanded and made permanent, whether it was Trump accounts.
Tech CEO Dan Herbachek, a mathematician who founded Ramsey Theory Group, outlines 3
or
breakthroughs
whether
essential
it
for
was
achieving true
childcare.
artificial general
So for
intelligence.
decades, we have heard Democrats talk about childcare. President Trump actually took action.
Cambrium
on the
Networks
affordability
receives
and
NASDAQ staff
accessibility
determination
of
letter will
childcare.
seek hearing and
We
continued
know that
listing.
1 in 4 families say that they hesitate to have more children.
Salesforce sued by
because
authors over
of the
artificial
cost
intelligence
and
software.
because of childcare cost. For the first time, this man actually took steps to change the dynamics for hardworking parents. So of the 3 tax credits that he reformed and the working families
DSX
tax
Corporation
cuts,
announced third
2
quarter
of them
2025 results.
had not been touched in 2 decades, and 1 of them had not been touched since 1986.
Earnings flash. IBKR Interactive Brokers Group Inc. reports Q3 revenue $1,660 million
But you changed
versus
the game
FactSet
on
est
that,
of
and I was
$1,530 million.
proud to lead that effort in the Senate. And so on behalf of moms and dads, on behalf of grandparents and sisters,
Behind the scenes of Marcia
aunts
McLennan
and
causes
uncles,
latest options
brothers
trends.
and people who are looking to expand their family.
Terex announces quarterly
we
dividend.
say thank you. Thank you for all you do to support families in this country and make a healthier environment and an easier one for us to grow. the
Brief
very
dash
long.
CSX Q3 EPS USD 037.
So let's set the stage. To put it in perspective, 2 weeks ago, as President Trump alluded, a leading U.S. drug manufacturer came into this room and agreed to do something none of us thought was possible. A most favored nation.
Earnings
agreement
flash
numbers,
CSX
again,
CSX Corp post
inconceivable.
Q3 adjusted
Last
EPS
week, a leading
$0.44 per
company
share
from
versus
Europe,
FactSet est of
a global leader in the
$0.42.
pharmaceutical sector, came to this office, made the same kind of commitment for most favored nation pricing, again, because the president insisted on it and was persistent, and he alluded to the fact that he was calling Secretary Kennedy and me quite a bit. He definitely was, with great insights into the process.
Insight
And we would not
Enterprises
hold
Inc.
back.
to report third quarter
But I think what you're
2025
seeing today
financial
is
results
something
on
even
October
larger.
30th,
It's
2025.
larger because we're now showing that MFN is a tool that can get other initiatives going as well. We are revealing perhaps the most important MFN opportunity at all because it's about procreation. It's about babies. It turns out that MFN is a tool for a lot of things, and it goes without saying that you get the drug pricing down, but lots of other business necessities become possible when that occurs. So Secretary Kennedy and I, who's a wonderful leader, talk frequently about family. I think the reason he's a great leader and president as well is because they have large families and they take pride in the joy that it gives us. But many families, as Senator Britt alluded,
Update
do
6
not
Trump,
have
AstraZeneca
adult
announced
children.
U.S. drug
But it
pricing
turns
deal
out
at
there's
White
about
House.
1 in 3 families, a much higher number, that don't have the number of babies they desire. They're under-babied. So this president committed to address that during the campaign, and he is delivering on that today in a way I don't think
Dropbox
anyone
to
thought
announce third
was
quarter
possible.
2025
We're opening
earnings
the door
results.
with MFN pricing and tariffs that support it, Secretary Lutnick, with a new approach
Gold
to
marches
make
past
reproductive
$4,300
medicine more
odds on
affordable
Fed rate
for
cut
Americans.
bets. Sino-U.S.
I know what
tensions.
you're all thinking, and you're probably right. There are going to be a lot of Trump babies. I think that's probably a good thing. But it turns out the fundamental creative force in society is about making babies. It's about creating. And this country, the one that President Trump is leading so beautifully, has been a country of abundance, not scarcity. To have abundance, you have to address the fact that we had 3.6 million babies last year, which is beautiful. 3.6 million miracles. That's 500,000 less babies than we would ideally have had, even to replace our current population. Building on the success of the last 2 weeks, our team, led by the head of Medicare, Chris Klump, who's standing over there, and Ina Hernandez, have negotiated a spectacular MFN deal to reduce the cost of IVF drug prices by $2,200 a cycle.
Manning to hold third quarter
That's
2025
nearly half
East Earnings
of the
conference
price
call on
that
Thursday,
it had
October
been.
30th,
The most,
2025.
prescribed drug in this category in America, made by MD Serrano, is described over here. And you'll notice
Indivior
that
to
President
report
Trump,
third quarter
these are
2025
discounted from
financial results and host
$242
webcast on
to
October
$10.
30th.
I don't know what the math is on that. We can't even calculate it. It's a lot.
A
It's
CM
it's
research
too
to
high
release
calculate,
third quarter
without
2025
a
financial
more
results on
studied
November
approach.
5th, 2025.
But I give it up there because that number of $10 will apply for every American who earns less than $115,000 a year. That's 70% of the American people. The remaining folks who are able to make more will have to pay a tiny bit more, but it's still most favored nation pricing, no different from what the Europeans are willing to pay. Now,
Brief
to make
Glacier
this deal
Banker
happen,
Q3 EPS
Chris and I have to do
USD
something special.
0.57.
We have to actually not just get the drug price down, but get the middlemen.
Thanco
to let it go
SK
as well.
announces
And
record
the
third quarter
president, we've met with the
2025
middlemen in the
earnings.
past. They're now joining the MFN movement. I want to thank Express
Navios
Scripts, Freedom
Maritime
Pharmacy,
Partners LP
and
announces
CVS
recent
Specialty
fleet
Pharmacy,
developments.
because they were willing to stand up and do the right thing for the American people by answering the president's call and slashing their prices. Now, this announcement also encompasses a remarkable move from Marty Makary. And Marty Makary is, of course, the leader of the FDA, but he has ongoing efforts
Update: two
accelerate
states sue
their
to stop
approval
Trump cancellation of
innovative
$7
medicines
billion
that will
solar
further
grant
reduce the
program.
price and make this whole process more seamless for the American people. Now, you're about to hear about a spectacular new program that's been alluded to. But one of the architects of that program, Heidi Overton, Deputy Director of the White House Domestic
Brief
Policy
Bank Oz
Council,
Q3
is gonna
EPS
take us through
USD
the
1.59.
exciting details of what this is going to offer for the American people, especially those who are in the workforce. But first, we think you should hear from Libby Horn. Libby is EMD Serrano's head of fertility. She brings both professional expertise and a personal connection to this work. She has 3 beautiful daughters, and she has personally benefited from reproductive medicine that has shaped her family. And her company made today's
A firm to
spectacular
announce
MFN
first quarter
pricing
fiscal year
possible.
2026 results on November 6, 2025.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today, we gather on this national stage to celebrate a historic step forward in expanding access to fertility treatments for those who need it most. Mr. President, thanks to your leadership and the tireless efforts of your team, this is a momentous day for Americans who struggle but remain hopeful.
Table
for
U.S.
good.
generated more biofuel blending credits in September,
Infertility is on the
EPA
rise in our
says.
country. 1 in 8 couples face infertility. This isn't just a number, it's real lives, dreams, and aspirations of hardworking Americans. The teacher who goes to school each day, surrounded by children, but aching for children of her own. The firefighter who puts his life on the line, but can't create the life he wants at home. The consequences of these challenges can take significant tolls.
Interactive Brokers
Some of
Q3
you
adjusted
watching today
earnings
have
revenue
given up
rise, quarterly
or are
dividend
frustrated
maintained.
because access to IVF treatments has been out of reach. That's why expanding access to IVF has been an issue of great importance to the president. He made this clear in his executive order declaring the administration's goal of supporting American families by enabling access and eliminating barriers to IVF. Today, EMD Serrano is proud to help President Trump deliver on his promise to you. Thanks to the president's leadership, EMD Serrano has worked alongside
Update 1, Bank of
distributors
Japan
and
must
other
tread
partners
carefully
to
in
help more
normalizing
families
policy, central bank
have
official
access
says.
to services and innovations that are consistent with other countries. Through our partnership with the administration, we are proud to announce that Americans will have access to our leading IVF therapies for an 84% discount off list prices. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you for making this possible.
Thank you very much. That's great. Fantastic.
For more than 40 years, EMD Serrano has been a global leader in fertility. Our science was instrumental in the birth of the first IVF baby in the US, and we've helped to bring more than 6 million babies into the world since then. Our purpose
Finger
is to
Lakes
help
named
create,
Wine Enthusiast
improve, and
2025
prolong
American
life.
Wine Region of the
That
Year.
means discovering more medicines and bringing them to patients faster. FDA Commissioner McCary has made it a priority to ensure
U.S.
that
equity
Americans
markets
have
closed
access
lower
to the
after
world's
bank
most
stocks fall
innovative
amid bad
treatments
loan
as quickly
concerns.
as possible. To that end, EMD Serono is filing a new IVF therapy called Pergoveris for review under the FDA Commissioner's National Priority Voucher Program. If approved, Pergoveris would combine two key reproductive hormones in synergy designed to mimic reproductive physiology. This
Life stands to host
therapeutic
third quarter
option could mean
2025
fewer
East
injections,
earnings
fewer
conference call on
copays,
November 6,
and lower self-pay
2025.
cost, all of which make a real difference in the IVF patient experience.
Truist announces redemption of senior notes
closing,
due October
On
2026.
behalf of EMD Serono, I want to send my heartfelt thanks to President Trump and the entire administration for their leadership and vision in this critical area of healthcare.
Top cryptocurrencies fall.
Together,
Bitcoin
we will
hovers
make a
above
difference in the lives of
$108,000.
countless families across this nation and uphold our longstanding
Update
legacy
1,
of
soccer
creating
relocating World Cup matches unlikely despite Trump rhetoric, current and former officials say.
Mr. President, thank you for your bold leadership.
Cup Group
It's allowed our
schedules
teams
third
to
quarter
go far beyond
2025
what
earnings
we thought was
conference call.
possible. On behalf of the Domestic Policy Council and Vince Haley here, we would like to also
We're a
thank
PT-FOC
the
US
partners
banquets and
the
billions.
stakeholders
How
that we work
AstraZeneca
with to
sealed a
get to the
US
solution
medicine deal with
today
Trump.
that will make a real impact for families. Specifically, today's historic actions, 4 in total that you see, are made possible by coordination of all of the
Moody's
White
Ratings
House
assigns
and
definitive
7
ratings to
agencies
American
and
Credit
other
Acceptance Receivables Trust 2025-4.
As you described, Mr. President, the current system isn't working. 7 in 10 Americans don't have coverage to IVF. They face high costs and uncertain outcomes. And there's intense demand for fertility benefits. 65% of Americans say that they would leave their current job just because of fertility benefits. So you asked us to lower costs and to fix the broken incentives in healthcare. In addition to lowering the cost of drugs by 73% or $2,200 per cycle, which if you missed it, most people require 2 or 3 cycles.
Armies flash OZK Bank,
Savings
OZK Post
for
Q3
families.
EPS of $1.59
I'm also gonna
versus
briefly
FactSet
outline
est
the
of
new solution for
$1.66.
coverage. This is a new fertility benefit option that employers can immediately offer to their
Earnings
employees.
flash,
Starting
INDB,
today.
Independent Bank Corp
This
posts
afternoon, the
Q3 adjusted
Department of
EPS
Labor, Health and Human Services,
$1.55 per
and
share
Treasury
versus
will
FactSet
be
est of
releasing guidance
$1.54.
That, for the first time, creates a legal pathway for employers to offer fertility benefit packages to people that need them, similar to how dental, vision, and life insurance are currently
New
offered.
Marine Team leading
This will be
scholars
followed
fish
up
meal
by a
and fish oil
regulation.
business.
These benefits can address the continuum of fertility needs.
Railroad
From the
operator
root causes of
CSX
IVF,
quarter 3
which
revenue
Secretary
edges
Kennedy
past
is working on
estimates.
very hard at HHS to, it'll be a coordinated package that does not exist in traditional health insurance today. It'll make it easier for employers, including small and mid-sized employers, to compete for talented employees. Currently, many small businesses cannot afford to offer fertility benefits at all. This is
Atai
making
Life
it
Sciences
possible for them to
announces
offer
proposed
benefits
public
the
offering
same
of
way
common
that large
shares.
Companies like Amazon and others offer benefits. This is a pro-family benefit expansion that will transform clinical outcomes by addressing fragmented coverage and care. I'm a physician by training, and it's very important that we have high-quality care. Fertility benefit companies are poised to offer packages that have reported so far roughly 25% higher live birth rates for those that seek care compared to those that don't have such benefits. They also report fewer cycles to achieve pregnancy, improved natural pregnancy rates through better care before you need IVF, and reduced chance of miscarriages, a 21% reduction in miscarriage rates.
Update 3, Trump's $100,000
Leading
fee for
physicians in the
H-1B worker
field
visas
have
challenged
also
in
relayed that
lawsuit.
These types of benefits significantly improve the patient and doctor experience, allowing both to focus on care.
Moody's
rather than
Ratings
navigating
assigns
the
provisional
bureaucracy.
ratings to 4 classes to be issued
These
by
impacts are very
BFLB Commercial
personal.
Mortgage Trust
Here with us today
2025-66
are my
or
good
RAF.
friends, Congressman Richard Hudson of North Carolina and his wife, Renee Hudson. Both have worked in public service for years, including Renee for all 4 years of your past administration, Mr. President, and they struggled with infertility. Today they have a beautiful son who's their pride and joy. He's an amazing boy. But they also suffered multiple losses throughout their fertility journey, something that is very common. Unfortunately, too many people go through the hard, arduous process of IVF and still result in
Community
miscarriage.
West Bank shares
So
Q3 net income
today,
triples
your
on loan
option
growth.
is not only saving money, it's going to improve the quality of care significantly. This new benefit option simultaneously represents
Bank
the
OZK
greatest
Q3
opportunity
net
to
income
expand
rises to
coverage
record
of IVF that the federal government
$180.50
has
Emma.
ever taken. while also improving the care delivered. Additionally,
Texas
and very
Children's Hospital
importantly, it
nurse
gives
Morgan
employers
Fisher recognized
maximum
as
flexibility
2025
to
National
design
Magnet Nurse of the
benefits
Year
that
for
are consistent
transformational
with their
leadership.
values. Put simply, this new fertility benefit option means lower costs and more healthy babies.
Newsmax in talks to settle
Today,
legal fee
this
lawsuit over
announcement,
voting
we are
machine defamation
realigning the
case.
industry towards the simple metric of more healthy
McGraw
babies
Hill
at
Inc.
lower
announces
costs.
further deleveraging with
I would now
additional
like to introduce Samantha
$150
Bush,
million
the
of
wife
debt
NASCAR
reduction.
driver Kyle Busch, who's been a leading advocate for IVF access. and
EQT
affordable
increases
healthcare
base
on
dividend by
fertility
5%.
journeys. Thank you, Mr. President.
Hello, everyone. My husband,
Scorpio
Kyle,
Tankers
and I
Inc.
battled
announces that on
infertility
October
for over a
30th,
decade
2025, the
before
company
being
plans
blessed
to
with
issue
our
its
two
third quarter
beautiful children,
2025 results and have a
Braxton, who's
conference
10,
call.
and our daughter Lennox, who's now 3. But our journey was long and painful.
Interactive Brokers
We faced
Q3 profit
6
beats
rounds of
expectation.
IVF, multiple miscarriages, multiple failed cycles, and countless moments of heartbreak. We faced the roller coaster of hope and devastation that so many families know all too well. Through it all, we held on to faith.
Bank of America
each other,
announces
and the
redemption of
belief
$2,500 million,
that somehow, someday,
1.197%
God would
fixed
turn our
floating
pain
rate
into
senior
purpose.
notes due October
We
2026.
also saw firsthand the staggering financial burden that comes with infertility treatments. Sitting in the waiting room of our fertility clinic, we overheard another couple quietly say that money was the only thing standing in their way of having their family. In that moment, Kyle and I looked at each other and we knew God was planting a seed in our hearts, a calling to take action. In 2015, that calling became the Bundle of Joy Fund, a nonprofit foundation dedicated
U.S.
to
stocks, Wall
providing
Street ends
financial
down.
assistance
Zion sparks
to
worries
couples
about
struggling
regional
with
banks.
infertility. What began as a small act of faith has now grown into something far greater than we could have ever imagined. To date, we've granted over $2 million directly to individuals, helping them pay for their IVF treatments, and we've celebrated the birth of 108 beautiful babies through our
Glacier
fund.
Bancorp Q3 earnings, revenue rising.
Each baby is a living,
Top news
breathing
alert. Major
testament
U.S.
to
business
hope,
group sues over
community,
Trump's
and God's
$100,000
grace.
H-1B visa fee.
For every tear we cried, for every shot we gave, every doctor's appointment that ended in disappointment, Kyle and I knew there had to be a greater reason. This was God's plan for us, to use our journey to advocate, empower, and be the voice to those
Glacier
battling in
Bancorp's
silence.
Q3 profit
Over the
rises
past 12
29% on
years,
higher
we worked
interest
hard
income.
to raise awareness, erase stigma, and bring hope to the 1 in 6 couples that will face infertility.
U.S. stocks, Wall Street
Infertility
ends
can be
down. Zion
incredibly
sparks
isolating.
worries about regional
It can leave
banks.
you questioning your faith, your body, and your future. But it can also reveal a strength that you never knew you had inside of you. It can deepen love, it can bring couples closer together, and it unites people through a shared struggle. Our goal has always been to show others that they are not alone, that there is a powerful community of infertility warriors behind them. Today, seeing President Trump acknowledge infertility on a national stage is
Update one
profoundly
railroad
moving.
operator
It's
CSX
a
beats
no
quarterly
longer
estimates
whispered
on strong
conversation
intermodal
behind
volumes.
closed doors. It is a recognized, validated struggle that so many families have to endure. His leadership reminds us that those in positions of power can make real and lasting changes for generations to come. Their willingness to bring this issue
Sonoro
forward shows
Gold
that they
upsized
not only
private
hear
placement
our
of share units to
community,
$4
but they
million.
truly care about us. Thank you, Mr. President, and to your family for shining a light on infertility and for standing by couples like Kyle and I, for standing by couples who only want to hear the words mommy and daddy, who want to watch our children open their Christmas presents on Christmas morning, who want to see the world anew through the joy in their kids' eyes. Your acknowledgement honors the power of family, faith, and love, the very values that make America the greatest country in the world. It's proof that
Bank
when promises
OZK
are
Q3
made
earnings
and
revenue
promises are
increase.
kept, lives are changed forever. Thank you, Mr. President.
Trimble Insider sold shares worth $567,375, according to a recent SEC filing.
Bobby, come on up for a second. What a job you're doing. Yeah, say a few words, Bobby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for your vision, your commitment to our country. When my uncle was president, The fertility rate.
Key SXQ3 net income revenue decline.
Today, it is 1.6%. The replacement rate, in other words, the amount of fertility that you need in order to keep your population even, is 2.1%. We are below replacement right now. That is a national security threat to our
Satellogic
country.
Insider sold shares
And
worth
we know why this is
$1,197,997, according to a recent
Through
SEC
his
filing.
agenda of reducing endocrine disruptors, the exposure to
The militant
chemicals
leader
that
stirring
decrease
conflict between
fertility.
Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Today, the average teenager in this country has 50% of the sperm count, 50% of the testosterone as a 65-year-old man. Our girls are hitting puberty 6 years earlier. And that's bad, but also our parents aren't having children. Parents who want to have children do not have access. I have 7 children. I feel that God has blessed me with that, and I can't imagine how different my life would be if I did not have that blessing. I want to point out also that this morning Harvard University released a study that showed that the obesity rates have now climbed over 70%. And this, again, is for the same reason we're flooding our kids. We're poisoning mass poisoning a generation of kids with chemicals. President Trump has instructed us to stop these problems at the root cause. He's also recognized that there are people who are injured.
Earnings flash OZK Bank, OZK Post Q3, revenue of $449.90 million versus FactSet est of $447.40 million.
Most favored nation. And this week, it's IVF. I want to thank you so much for that, Mr. President. I saw on an airplane the other day, you said that you didn't believe
Dallas
that you were
Cowboys
gonna
players
get to
urge
heaven.
fans to join Nation of Lifesavers,
You're
learn
doing God's
life-saving
work
CPR.
here. You've made peace in the Middle East, which is beyond anybody's imagination. And now you're giving millions of Americans a chance to have babies.
Deleted, DocGo signs
doing
deal
this
to
for
launch
the
Care Gap
government
closure
now,
program in
by
New
the
Mexico with
Democrats.
national insurance provider.
But this administration has not stopped working for the American people. And that's because of your energy, your commitment, your vision, and I want to thank you for allowing me to be part of it.
What a glaze.
And he's doing a great job. And by the way, Kyle is fantastic. So he's got a lot of courage. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't care. Howard, you and I.
Standard
would not be
Lithium
good at that.
announces proposed
We'd
public
go about
offering of
30
common
miles an
shares.
hour. But we'd be safe. Anyway, so thank you very much. Any questions, please?
You posted earlier today.
Yeah, please.
Mr. President, this is a major campaign promise that you made. It was a big
Yin Sam expands global reach with launch of first UA mobile app for Dubai basketball.
Secretary Kennedy or Dr. Heidi. Dr. Heidi, you said something that I thought was really important. You talked about how this coverage option is beneficial.
ILT expands its ecosystem to your doorstep. Rapid home delivery powered by GoPuff now live, further connecting properties, neighborhood merchants, and members.
Values. I was wondering if either you or the president could expand on that and talk about
Apple readies high-end MacBook Pro with touch hole punch screen, Bloomberg News reports.
Thank you. It's a great question. We think that employers are best situated to know what them and their employees want to contribute to in relation to their benefits. So employers are going to be able to decide how to cover the root causes of infertility, things like obesity, metabolic health, and other things that are impacting infertility. And also, if they want to encourage their employees to see certain types of doctors, and they can work with providers that are identifying the highest quality fertility providers. And so it puts them in the driver's seat. And our view is that we want employers to be the ones that can make those decisions, not the government. Thank you.
All right. That's a good answer.
Yeah, it was.
That was a very good answer. Yeah, please, go
Mr.
ahead.
President, Mr. President, previously you did not seem to be bothered regarding Hamas cracking down on
WEMAX National Housing Report for September 2025.
gangs, actually,
What?
couple of gangs. And today you issued a threat against Hamas on Truth Social. What has changed?
And what was
since then?
said?
Buzz Railroad operator CSX rises after beating quarterly results estimates.
In Gaza, that if that continues, the United States
I
will
know,
go
I
after
issued a
them.
strong statement, that's right.
But they used to be gangs, and now you're saying innocence. What
Update
makes
8
you
oil
think
drops
they're
1%,
innocent?
settles at
Well,
5-month
look at
lows
what's
as Trump-Putin
happening, and
summit looms.
That wasn't the deal that was made, and we'll see what happens. It's calmed down. It's a tough neighborhood. We know that. We have a commitment from them, and I assume they're going to honor that commitment. I hope they do. And I understand they brought back some
Valvoline instant
additional
oil change
bodies
locations
today.
drive support for
It's
the
a
fight
rough
against
deal when
cancer.
you think of it, right? Very rough. We have our hostages back completely. We were very lucky with that. But it's a tough situation. They brought back bodies today, as you probably know. But they also said they're going to behave. We're going to find out if they behave. If they behave good, if they don't behave, we'll take care of it. Yeah, please.
Following up on that, when you
I didn't
said,
say you.
Mr. President,
You
you
CNN, fake news. Go ahead.
You said in your post that if they kept killing people in Gaza, we would have no choice but to go in and kill them. So do you mean U.S. forces would go in and take out Hamas?
No, I didn't say who would go in, but somebody will go in. It's not going to be us. We won't have to. There are people very close, very nearby that will go in. They'll do the trick very easily, but under our auspices.
Could I follow up? You also posted
TerraWolf prices $3.20 billion private offering of notes.
Hungary with him. Do you have a timeline or a date set for when?
Yeah, I would say within 2 weeks or so, pretty quick. Marco Rubio is going to be meeting with his counterpart, as you know, Lavrov, and they'll be meeting pretty soon. They're going to set up a time and a place very shortly. Maybe it's already set up. They've already
Wabtec
spoken.
keeps quarterly dividend at
I thought it was a very good phone
$0.25
call.
per
I
share,
thought very
payable
productive.
November 26th to
But I'll be
shareholders of
meeting
record
with
on
President
November
Putin,
12th.
And we'll make a determination. Tomorrow I'm meeting with President Zelensky, and I'll be telling him about the call. I mean, we have a problem. They don't get along too well, those two, and it's sometimes tough to have meetings, so we may do something where we're separate but equal. We'll meet and talk parties, but this is a terrible relationship the two of them have, and it's one of those things. I've seen things that nobody would believe, but this is one.
Rayonier maintains
So I'll be
quarterly
meeting-
dividend
we're
at
gonna be meeting
$0.27, 25 a
Viktor
share,
Orban
payable
is,
December 31st to
gonna be
shareholders of
hosting.
record on December 10th.
And it's really something that's time. Last week, over 7,000 people were killed. That's ridiculous. And you know, it doesn't affect our country. We're not losing people. We're not losing Bobby. We're not losing Americans.
Toll
But
Brothers
they're losing
announces new
Russians,
luxury
Ukrainians,
home community
mostly
coming
soldiers,
soon to
for the
Summerlin
most
in Las
part,
Vegas,
soldiers.
Nevada.
And we think we're going to get. We hope we're going to get it.
Praxis
stopped.
Precision
I
Medicines
thought
plans
this would
public
be-
offering.
Because of my relationship with President Putin, I thought this would be very quick. And it's turned out to be, who would think I did Middle East before I did this? We did a total of 8 now, 7. And
Cohen
now
and
8.
Steers reports results for third
And,
quarter
we'll make
2025.
this number 9.
Yeah, please. So you said you posted that there was great progress. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Was it a shift in Putin's tone? Was it something new he told you? Did he give you any message to give?
You're talking about the whole
President Zelensky tomorrow.
It just seems to me that, look, it's only a field. That's all I've done in my whole life.
Texas
I've made
Instruments
deals. I
Board
know that
declares fourth
deals
quarter
do
2025
well.
quarterly dividend.
I don't think any president's ever ended a war, frankly. One war, I did 8 of them, Maria, right? And but I don't know, did Bush ever end? Do you think Biden ended a war? Biden started wars because he was stupid. But do you think Biden ended any wars? No, I don't know of anybody that ended wars. I ended 8 of them. Now it's going to be 9. I think we're going to have this one done, hopefully soon. But I'll be meeting him probably over the next 2 weeks. First, Marco is going to be meeting. And the vice president, as you know, is very much involved. The whole team is involved. Steve Witkoff will be involved. Yeah.
Emergent Biosolutions insider sold shares worth $306,080 according to a recent SEC
We
filing.
talked about it a little bit, didn't say much, but I do say to you, we need tomahawks for the United States of America, too. We have
Meckens Bancorp
a
announces
lot of
date
them,
of third
but
quarter
we need 'em.
2025
I mean,
earnings release and conference call.
We can't deplete for our country. So, they're very vital. They're very powerful. They're very accurate. They're very good, but we need them, too. So I don't know what we can do about that.
Standard Lithium brief announcing proposed public offering of common shares.
Well, I think Alaska actually set a stage, and That wasn't very long ago, but it set a stage. You have to understand, I came into this situation. I didn't start this war. This is a Biden deal. And I came into it, and it was a mess. It could have led to World War III. In my opinion, this could have
KitKat's
led
new
to
AI
World
and
War
clean
III.
tech ETFs bring
That won't
institutional
happen.
megatrends to
But
U.S.
it could
investors.
happen. So I came in, this war was raging. When I left, this wasn't even a thought. For 4 years, nobody talked about it. I spoke to President Putin about Ukraine. It was the apple of his eye, but there was never going to be doing
Killam
anything
Apartment
like this.
REIT
And
announces
this
October
all went
2025
because of
distribution.
Some really bad decisions that were made. And look what you have there.
Kmores
Millions of
announces
people
dates
dead.
for third quarter 2025 earnings release and
Just
webcast conference
a
call.
horrible situation. I'm doing it to save souls. That's all I'm doing it for. I'm not doing it for us.
Research
We
alert:
have an ocean
SCFRA
between
lowers
us.
recommendation on shares
I'm
of
doing
M&T
it
Bank
also to
Corporation to
help
buy from
Europe.
strong.
They want to have it ended, but they're unable to do it. I'm able to do it. So I think we'll be successful. We'll save a lot of lives. It should have been done. Should have never started. This would have never happened if the election weren't rigged. This would have never happened. But it did happen, and I'll get it stopped.
Simmons First National Corporation reports third quarter 2025
The
results.
$1,300 drug at the top of this. Were you referring to the weight loss drugs?
Yeah, I was referring to Ozempic, or I heard the fat loss drug.
So those are going to be $150 out of pocket
Yeah,
for
well,
Americans.
they'll be much lower. They'll be much lower. Yeah, go ahead.
We have not
Patrick
negotiated
Industries,
those yet.
Inc. announces
We're
third
gonna be
quarter
rolling these out over
2025
time.
earnings release and
The
conference
GLP
call
category
webcast on
drugs, which
October
includes
30th,
Ozempic, have not been
2025.
negotiated yet.
What's the timeline for that?
But it will. It'll come down, like everyone else.
NLRB challenges California law shifting labor cases to state agency.
And we do have, I guess, some
The
alternative.
president will be happy with the result, and until he is, we're not going to close those negotiations. Thank you.
Except it'll happen.
What's your message to pro-life conservatives? Some pro-life conservatives have religious objections to IVF and are already critical of this policy. What's your message to them?
I don't know about the views of that. I'm just looking to do something because, pro-life,
Stifel
I
chief
think this
economist
is
expects
very
one more
pro-life.
quarter point
This
rate
is-
cut by year
You
end.
can't get more pro-life than this. Please.
Mr. President, you've been talking about how this new benefit plan will also include root cause treatments for infertility. How will you make sure that those root cause treatments?
Kempinski Grace Bay to break ground in mid-November on
Well, I think we're
landmark
gonna be
beachfront
doing that.
residences
Would you
and
like
resort
to-
in
would
Turks and
anybody
Caicos
like to talk
Islands.
about that subject? Please.
I think it's the determination, again, Secretary of Labor.
Independent Bank
determination,
Q3 adjusted
the
earnings
Department of
revenue
Labor is
increase.
issuing their intent today to open up the rulemaking process, again, for more flexibility.
All Inco to host
Anytime
Investor Day
you
on
have a
December
president
9th.
who's leading, when you can offer more access to health care at a lower rate, is a benefit to the American people and to the end user, and that's exactly what he's doing. And so you heard before that through the Q&A.
Earnings flash FNB Corporation post Q3 adjusted EPS $0.41 per share versus FactSet est of $0.37.
Flexibility of that is, and then again, opening that rulemaking.
Forex
process
dollar
for
dented by
determination
simmering trade
of the
tensions,
access
rate
that
cut
can be
bets.
had, offered in those benefits for all different types of healthcare access is the goal of the Department of Labor.
It is, sir. That's good. I like this better.
Earnings flash FNB Corporation reports Q3 revenue $457 million versus FactSet est of $447,700,000.
I shouldn't tell. I won't say it. I will not say that she was recommended by the Teamsters. Can you
Global
believe
markets,
it?
U.S. stocks
And
pulled
she's
lower
turned
by
out to be a
financials.
gem,
Gold hits record
an
highs.
absolute gem. You're doing a great job. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, John Bolton was just indicted. Do you think we could see your deal-making skills applied to the government shutdown anytime soon?
Well, look, all we want to do is just extend. We don't want anything. We just want to extend, live with the deal that they had. They want to spend $1.5 trillion on illegal immigrants, and they want to destroy health care for everyone else, and it's crazy. It's crazy. People that are here illegally, they want to spend $1.5 trillion. So we're just not going to do it. No, we have to take care of our health care. Now, we're doing that today, and we're doing it with, favored nations, the most favored nations. Your costs are going to be dropping greatly. And I'm really I'm really happy that it's at the beginning of my administration, because I did insulin and got it down to like $25, but it doesn't kick in. It didn't kick in for 2 years by statute, so it couldn't kick in. And I said, boy, I hope I win this election, because if I don't, somebody else is going to take credit for it, Bobby. And sure as can be, Biden said, he didn't even know what the hell was happening, and it was a hard thing for me to do. I got insulin way down. What was it before that? It was just massive. It was impossible to afford. And sure as can be, because it was statute, it couldn't have been earlier. I said, boy, this falls into the next administration. I better win. And all of a sudden, I watch this Biden taking credit for something that I did, and on other things too. We had a lot of things kick in. So the nice part about this is at the beginning of our administration. So I think we're going to see the fruits of our labor. And I hope on our other situation that we've talked so much about, autism, I hope we're going to see some very good results based on the recommendations that we made. And, you know, we have time to watch those results.
Mr. President, John Bolton was just indicted by a grand jury in Maryland. Do you have a reaction to that?
I didn't know that. You told me for the first time, but I think he's, you know, a bad person. I think he's a bad guy. Yeah, he's a bad guy. It's too bad, but that's the way it goes.
The case against him?
That's the way it goes, right? That's the way it goes. Will I what?
Have you reviewed the case against him?
No, I haven't. But I just think he's a bad person. Okay, anybody else?
What's the timeline for the IVF drug through the National Commissioner Priority Review Voucher? Dr. McCary?
What do you think, Doctor?
Yeah. So, first of all, the National Priority Voucher Program says we're going to proactively at the FDA look for amazing treatments like this IVF treatment. We're going to reach out to the companies, and if it's in line with the president's national priorities, we're going to put those drugs at the front of the line and get a decision out in weeks instead of a year. And so today we announced 9 drugs that are going to be recipients. These are products where the manufacturing is going to be in the United States, or it's meeting a large unmet public health need, like a diabetes drug we announced today, or it is a product where you're going to see an affordability phenomena because the prices are getting equalized in line with the president's most favored nation status goal.
Wow, that's good. Why didn't I have him speaking? So could have saved a lot of time. Thanks, Tony. I'm not surprised. Yeah, please.
Yes, thank you, President. So Senate Majority Leader John Thune today said he'd like to proceed with the bill which would put sanctions on Russia. What's your thought on that?
Well, we're going to see. He doesn't know about the call yet. I'm going to speak to him later. And it was subject to what I wanted to do. And so we'll see what happens. We may have, this may be such a productive call that we're going to end up, we want to get peace. We want to stop the killing. 7,000 people a week. Can you believe it? We want to stop the killing. So I'm going to speak to him and the speaker, Mike Johnson. I'll speak to them a little bit later and I'll tell them about this. And we'll make the right determination. I'm not against anything. I'm just saying it may not be perfect timing. It could happen in a week or two, but it's at my option, as you know.
Right, but did President Putin try to dissuade you from selling Tomahawk missiles?
Well, of course. What do you think he's going to say? Please sell Tomahawks?
No, but did he
Is he going to say, please sell those Tomahawks? I really appreciate it. I did actually say, would you mind if I gave a couple of thousand Tomahawks to your opposition? I did say that to him. I said it just that way. He didn't like the idea. He really didn't like the idea. No, I said it that way. You have to be a little bit lighthearted sometimes, but no, he doesn't want Tomahawk is a vicious weapon. It's a vicious, offensive, incredibly destructive weapon. Nobody wants Tomahawk shot at him.
Did he specifically ask you not to provide Tomahawks?
So, wouldn't anybody? I mean, it's been in the news. Who wouldn't do that? CNN. Who wouldn't do that? You know? Do you think he's going to say, "I'd love to have Tomahawk sent my way"? I don't think so. Maria, we have one of the great stars of television here, and she's an incredible person, and she's just an amazing woman who she got it all right. She got the Russia hoax right. She got everything. Would you have a question?
Yes, Mr. President. I would ask you why this was so important to you. IVF, and why was autism so important to you? What are you trying to achieve?
Well, autism is like a whole different thing. When you look at, it was 1 in 20,000. Now it's 1 in 12. If you look, Bobby, we have different numbers, but 1 in 12, 1 in 28, 1 in 32. There's a couple of different numbers out there, but it's 1 in a very, very different number than it used to be. It used to be 1 in 20,000. And that was not that long ago, 20 years ago or so. And now they had something for boys, for babies, baby boys. It's 1 in 12. I heard 1 in 10, Bobby. I heard another one, different lists. But when you think of that, it's not even sustainable, but there's something artificial. When that happens, that's not like a natural. And then you have certain groups of people that literally don't have autism, and they're not taking some of the things that we're taking. So we're working very hard. And on IVF, it's just that I have friends, including Katie, that called me and they told me the importance of it. I wasn't that familiar with it. Now I think I've sort of become the father ever since I heard. There was a bad decision in Alabama where a judge wanted all clinics to be immediately closed, right? And Katie called up and you said you were pretty strongly attacked by your friends that you didn't even know were involved with IVF, right?
You had people that had grandkids, people who'd gone through IVF themselves, telling their story and
Yeah.
saying there are people that cope out there.
Tell what you did when you heard from your friends. You said this was not, they almost became violent, right?
I told him, I said, Mr. President, we need you. We need your voice in this conversation. We need the directive. We need the strong support because there are millions of people out there, moms and dads, wanting to bring life into
Okay, guys, I'm going to take off. I'll see you guys
You
tomorrow.
had people, the chilling effects
Nice day.
that occurred across Alabama.